So the issue with this and trying to invert it is that, well, let me just put it like this, the way it's going to cut, right? If we try to invert it, we're missing the part of this stripe, and we're missing part of this stripe and part of this stripe and part, all these lines. You can't just seemingly invert it unless you have a frame to go around these. So the way you do that is either put a rectangle around it or possibly use some offsets. So I'm going to leave the stars alone for now, and I'll just repeat what I'm doing here to the stars afterwards. But you basically have to make a boundary around it, kind of like this one here. So I'm going to leave it at 1/4 inch, and keep original, and I'm just going to add this offset. I'm going to go through here and just select these offsets and Control-J to combine them together. And then send them to the back so it's a little bit easier to see the rest of this design. So there you can see that's my offset now is around the outside. It's kind of large, right? You probably don't want it to be that big. But I had to do it that large in order to combine the stripes together here on the sides. So now I'm going to offset it back inwards again. Just that new boundary that I made around the outside. I'm going to go maybe half this amount. And we'll go inwards. And I don't want to keep original. We're just going to get rid of that one I just made that's further out. So I want to, and there you can see it's right there. Right click, send to back again. And you can see it's a little closer. It doesn't look too bad now, right? Let's go one more. Just a little bit closer. The issue we're going to have over here are these stars that get cut off. So we're going to have to add a vector line in there or just get rid of them. So that's going to be kind of up to you if you want to do that or not. Or since we are so far towards the outside, we might be able to cheat some of these and reuse the stars from the inside. So I'm just going to, we'll do 0.07 inwards, get rid of this one, send to back. And there, that's not too bad. See how it doesn't follow the contour of the stripes in there? It looks a little funky. So when we take these ones here and we set this to a 0 depth, and then I grab it like this and combine them, I've now effectively inverted the stripes. But see how it does weird things with these? In order to invert the stripes, you have to have a bounding body around the original stripes, and that kind of messes with stuff. Assuming you're going to carve this in with a V-bit, I prefer the look of a 90, but a lot of people like to use 60s because they're more forgiving to the top of the board not being flat. And we've got something like that. That doesn't look too bad, actually, with the stars the way they are. Does some weird stuff here with this one. Let me undo what I did over here. See that one part there? I forgot to change that to a 0 depth. With that set to 0. Control-J to combine. Oh, I didn't want to combine the stars. And we are good. I'm going to cheat here. Edit, select by matching depth. I just selected all the stars real easily. Select that part, Control-J to combine. And now I've got them all selected. I can put it to my V-bit. Like I said, I like the look of a 90 on the stars usually, because it does this weird little thing down here on the bottom when you use a 60. But actually, these stars are going to do it anyway because they're not a true star. It's a vector with a whole bunch of nodes in there, right? You can see now it'll pop up. There we go. See these extra nodes? Actually, they look good. I don't know. It's weird that it's doing that down there. It doesn't usually do that to my other stars that are in my other designs. Kind of weird that it's doing that. This one here doesn't do it as bad. Interesting. Anyway, so you can decide what angle bit you want in there, but it's going to have a border around it, or else you can't really. It has to have a border in order to be able to invert it. I might have gone a little closer here on this side because it's doing this weird little thing. So, yeah, if we do that all again real quick. Your flag comes in super big, so I'm going to shrink it down to I don't know, 5. Yeah, that's not bad. Like that. I like to have it set to pocket like I did before to start with. I'm going to put these back at it. So I'm going to cheat this time. I kind of do it differently. I'm going to add all the star, join everything together now, and then go through the offsets. Oops. See, I just messed that one up too again. That little triangle right there. Control-J to combine. Now this is all one piece, right? One selectable piece. So then we can go through the same offsets, and it'll be a little bit faster. But those offsets affect the stars too. I forgot about that. It does weird stuff in there. Let's go a little bit further out than I did last time. Did I go 0.25? Oh. I want to kind of get rid of this little notch in right here specifically. That's looking a lot better. So we'll do that. I'm going to select these new pieces that I run in and kind of change their depth. Send them to the back. See it offset all the stars here too. So maybe you don't want to do it this way. Maybe combining them first is not the best answer. All right, so I'm going to just select these things here real quick and join them. Control-J to join. Do the offset backwards again. What do I have, 1.5? We did something like 1.5 just now, so we'll go ahead and do 1.2 inwards. Okay. Send to back so we can see what's sitting there. And then I got rid of that big old kind of swoop in that these were doing on the edges there. You know. So I can take all these again and do that same combine function, maybe even bring it a little bit further. It won't look as bad as the other one. On the other software I use sometimes, 𝐭𝐫𝐢𝐚𝐥, you can just keep on clicking the same button and it'll offset, and then you can click redo and it'll offset again. And it makes it a lot easier to do these repetitive over and over again offsets. Anyway, it's coming in a little closer. I don't know. Is that close enough? We'll do a little bit more. Well, that's right up against it. That might be too close, right? Anyway, so we'll leave it right there with that. I'm going to go ahead and select everything else. So everything other than the stars needs to be set to 0. Setting something to 0 on top of something else effectively erases it. And then combine. We basically just erased the original design from this new outward offset. I like this one a bit better than I like this one, mainly because of that one little piece. But yeah, you can see how that's done and all within easel. And of course, you could have done the same thing using a tattered, what's it called in here? Using a tattered flag from this library, and if they're in there. I'm not sure what all's in here for that. Anyway, I think I'm done here. But that's basically how you can invert a flag, and that's kind of how I got mine from inverting one of these ones to my usual US flag that I give out. Yeah. So like how this one here is backwards too. You could kind of do the same thing to invert this one as well. Sometimes it's easier to just add a line down the edge to it instead of dealing with these little drop-ins. Another neat thing you can do is you can get it close like this, right? We have that little loop in right there, right? If you want to make that perfect. You could instead take the size here, 18.9. Well, this one you guys put a rectangle around it and just do a rectangle instead of the whole offsets, and that will make this one go faster if you want to invert an American flag. Just make a rectangle the same size as this guy here is, and that's how you could invert one of these. Anyway, I think I showed you how to invert yours, and that should be good enough. All right, dude, take care. Good luck.